Imagine a love so powerful it transforms hostility into hope. This is the love Jesus speaks of, a love for our enemies. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus delivered teachings that upended traditional beliefs. Among them was a call to love not just friends and family, but our enemies, a revolutionary idea. At a time when division seems ever present, understanding and living out this teaching can be profoundly transformative. Let's explore how Jesus' challenge to love our enemies is as vital today as it was 2,000 years ago. Picture the scene. Jesus is speaking to a diverse assembly, a blend of followers, skeptics, and curious onlookers. The atmosphere is charged with expectation, as his teachings often diverged sharply from conventional wisdom. Nestled within the series of profound messages Jesus shared, we find one of his most challenging commands. In Matthew 5:43-48, Jesus begins by quoting a familiar teaching. "You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.'" This was a reflection of a commonly held sentiment, perhaps even whispered among those sitting at Jesus' feet. Loving one's neighbor was deeply rooted in Jewish law, but the idea of hating one's enemy was a more human interpretation of moral boundaries. Then came the profound pivot. "But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." These words must have fallen like a thunderbolt among the listeners. To love one's enemy went against the grain of human instinct and societal norms. It called for a radical transformation of heart and perspective. Jesus illustrates the reason for such behavior by pointing to the very nature of God. "Our Heavenly Father," he explained, "causes the sun to rise and the rain to fall on both the just and the unjust." In essence, God's love is impartial and all-encompassing, providing graciously even to those who might choose to oppose him. This divine example was meant to stir a reflection of God's love in our own lives. Furthermore, Jesus questioned the value of loving only those who love us in return. Even tax collectors, often viewed as traitors in Jewish society, could do that. The real mark of a child of God was in mirroring his extraordinary love by extending it to one's enemies. As Jesus spoke, his words offered more than a moral suggestion. They imparted a transformative mandate for his followers. By loving our enemies, we align ourselves closer with God's own heart and reveal his kingdom principles on earth. Importantly, this love is not passive, it is active, involving prayer and genuine concern for those who may oppose us. Imagine the murmurs within the crowd as this teaching sank in. The radical nature of this love demanded a response that was both countercultural and deeply personal. Jesus wasn't advocating for a weak form of sentimentalism, but a robust, redemptive love that had the power to mend and reconcile what was broken. As the dust settled on that hillside, Jesus left his audience, and us, with a profound challenge. Would they be content with the love that mirrors societal norms, or would they strive for something higher, a love akin to God's? This teaching calls us to re-examine our hearts and redefine our relationships, compelling us to step beyond familiar bounds into new realms of compassion and grace. Let's delve deeper into Jesus' instruction to love our enemies and the profound implications it carries. Initially, the command seems almost impossible to grasp, but when unpacked, it reveals a vision for a transformative Christian ethic. The Greek word used in this passage for love is agape, a term that defines unconditional love. Unlike philia, affectionate love, storge, familial love, or eros, romantic love, agape is selfless and sacrificial, extending grace without expectation of return. By using this term, Jesus pointed to a love grounded not in emotions or reciprocity, but in a choice reflecting God's love for humanity. This choice to love involves active engagement. Jesus encourages us to pray for those who persecute us. Prayer becomes a powerful tool in bridging the chasm between conflict and reconciliation. Through prayer, our perspective begins to align more closely with God's, allowing for a change in heart towards those we perceive as adversaries. Furthermore, Jesus highlights the divine character, drawing parallels between God's impartial kindness and the love we are called to exhibit. God's providential care to all humanity exemplifies loving beyond merit. This challenges us to consider our motivations. Are we loving others based on their actions toward us, or from an overflow of God's love working within us? Additionally, Jesus questions the authenticity of our love if it mirrors the world's standards. When we love only those who fulfill our expectations or reciprocate our kindness, we forgive, not out of commitment to divine principles, but out of obligation or cultural norms. Jesus urges us beyond this, toward a radical witness that transcends societal conventions. Such love is transformative. While it may not always alter the behavior of our enemies, it surely changes us. It enables healing, diminishes hatred, and fosters an environment where peace can flourish. The effort to understand, forgive, and act lovingly is a powerful antidote to the cycle of retribution and hostility. By challenging us to love beyond boundaries, Jesus introduces a fundamental aspect of the Christian faith, living as a reflection of God's kingdom on earth. In practicing this radical love, we ask for the grace to respond to anger with peace, to confront hate with understanding, and to answer persecution with prayer. The implications of Jesus' teaching invite us into a radical reimagining of our relationships. It beckons us to reflect on the areas of our lives where we have drawn lines, consciously or unconsciously, between who is deserving of our love and who is not. By removing these divisions, we are called to demonstrate a love that truly knows no bounds. This reflection and transformation may require us to move beyond comfort zones. Still, it encapsulates the essence of the gospel, a call to live abundantly by divine principles in a world often marked by division and strife. Now let's explore how we can embody this teaching of love for our enemies in our daily lives. Transforming this profound concept into action requires conscious intention and patience, but it's deeply rewarding. Begin with prayer. Ask God to soften your heart and offer understanding and empathy where there is currently animosity or misunderstanding. Regular prayer for those you find challenging not only helps them but changes your attitude toward them, creating space for empathy and compassion to grow. Next, practice active listening. Often our perception of an enemy is shaped by misunderstanding or miscommunication. Take the time to listen, truly listen, to their perspective. While agreement might not always be possible, respect and understanding can pave the way for more harmonious relations. Choose positive actions. Instead of retaliating or harboring resentment, look for opportunities to extend kindness. A gesture of genuine goodwill can dismantle barriers more effectively than debates or confrontations ever could. Reflect regularly on Jesus' example. His life was a continuous testimony of loving those who opposed him. By aligning our attitudes and actions with his teachings and example, we continually remind ourselves of the standard to which we are called. Community support is invaluable in this journey. Engaging with fellow believers who share a common desire to uphold these teachings can be a great source of encouragement and accountability. Discussion groups, Bible studies, or shared service projects can foster growth in this area. Lastly, embrace forgiveness. It is both a gift received and one to be given. Holding on to past hurts only deepens division. Through forgiveness, a space is made for healing, growth, and the possibility of transformed relationships. Though challenging, this practice of love is life-changing. By committing to love our enemies, we shift away from a world driven by division toward one marked by healing and reconciliation. As we open our hearts, we become vessels of God's grace, participating in His work of transforming the world through His love. Let this radical, life-changing love begin with us. Jesus' command to love our enemies challenges us to live out His love radically. As we navigate a world filled with strife and division, His teachings call us to be agents of change, extending love where it is least expected. This week, take the transformative step to pray for those you struggle with, seeking God's perspective in their lives and yours. Let love be the lens through which you view all interactions, opening a path for profound change and reconciliation.